Hello and welcome to the VectorPro 8.3. 8.3 is best paired with firmware 3.1.0. If you're in any doubt about how to upgrade your test stand, please speak to Mezzin Technical Support and they will be able to assist you with your upgrade. One of the first things you'll see is the Omnitest 0.5, 1 and 2.5. These are the new machine variants that we'll be introducing later in the year. So one of the first things we'll look at in version 8.3 will be the introduction of template number 12, dynamic template. And here is a collection of multiple graphs with results in, stats at the bottom, and you can select your company logo you wish to place in your template simply by hitting the select logo and finding a picture. You can reset this if you want, change it for a different logo. When you're happy with this, you've configured your template. If you exit and save, then you can then use that template to do your report. So if we have a quick look, let's view 20 samples, do a manual report, and there you can see you've got all the individual graphs with the results associated with each graph, your stats and your company logo, and that is template number 12. Next thing we've introduced is a soft delete. Previously, if you selected some results and you deleted them, they would be permanently gone. What we're doing in this first iteration is we're moving them to a holding area, which is the trash tile that you can see there. So if we go and look at the trash tile, we can see those results are deleted and they're being held in here. At the moment, they're not recoverable, but they will be in the future. If we have results from multiple tests, we can then go and have a look at the individual tests and see which results belong to which tests. And if we actually delete the results from the trash can, then they will be permanently deleted. So there will be a change coming to change this and make it recoverable in the near future. Next thing we've introduced is results filtering. When you've got a lot of results in a test, this will enable you to filter those results. So we have some filter buttons at the top there. This one will enable you to look at all the different versions of the test. You can filter by a date or by a date range by selecting the range button, from and to. You can filter by users. I select the users here. I can filter just by a single user or multiple users. And attributes. Any attributes that you've created, you can then filter on. I'm going to apply a quick filter here. Look for anything that contained a ID containing 1. If I hit the tick button, there it's filtered out the date. View that result. Look at my results, and it had the number 1 in that result. Next thing is the batch copy repeat. So here I've got an existing batch. I've only done 50% of it, but now I can go and have a look at that as it could before. But what I do have the ability now is to select that batch set and say I'd like to do that again. So I've got a copy feature down here. So if I hit the copy, it will pull up the original parameters for that batch, and now I can accept it, and I've got another batch ready to go, and I can execute that test. That's batch copy repeat. Next thing we're going to look at is a new operation. So if we go and look at our test, create a simple test here going to -15 mil and then to -5 mil. So under the common in the toolbox we now have at the bottom is loop operation. And a loop operation will enable you to loop back between different operations. So if we edit this, we can choose which operation after 3 we want to go back to. So I'm going to go back to number 2. And we can also choose the number of times we want to do this. I'll do this just 3 times. So what we're effectively doing here is creating a loop cycle back from operation 3 to operation 2 3 times. So if we save that, we hit the play button, and we have a look and see what we're doing. You can see we're operation 1, operation 2, and then we're looping back again to our operation 1. So we'll be able to create cycling tests using this feature. And now we're done. And that's the new loop operation, to loop between two operations. Next thing we'll look at is we've dynamically linked attribute nodes to pause operation. So here we've got a pause operation, and I can now go back and have a look at my attributes. I've got 2 note attributes in here, and I can link that pause message back to those 2 attributes. Then I can click on the magnifying glass and go and select which note I want to use to display as that pause operation. Next thing we'll look at is the digital output category in operations. 2 new icons here, 0 and a 1. Set or reset a digital output, and set a digital output. You can drop these anywhere in the timeline test. This enables us to control digital outputs. So we can configure these individually, so you can choose this one here, choose your digital output. This is doing a reset to 0. And then in the other one we can actually set any line we want to digital high output. And those are the 2 digital output, set and reset. Next is the condition operations. New operations in here, several of them. So we've got jump to an operation according to the load, jump to an operation according to the displacement, jump to an operation according to the stress, jump to an operation according to the strain, jump to an operation according to the time, and jump to an operation according to the digital input. So let's have a look at these operations. I've got 2 displacement movements here, and I can pop in a condition limit on load before the operations. So on here I'm going to look for a load of 25 newtons, and the condition will be to stop if we hit the 25 newtons. I can, however, also jump on this. So if I hit 25 newtons, I can then move on to another operation. So it enables me to look at the load during the test, either stop it or jump to another operation. What we've also got here is 2 load operations, and again we can use this time a displacement condition. So on my displacement, it could either be a displacement based on a target displacement, a relative, or an absolute. And once I hit that target there, 20 millimeters, I can stop the test. And I can also again move to another operation. So that's the displacement condition being met during the test. We can obviously also do this for a strain operation. So I've got 2 operations here, go to 100 newtons and then go to a stress. So here I can set a condition of, if you're meeting 5% strain, you can stop, or I can select to go to my operation number 3, which was go to a stress. And that's the strain condition. Next one is a stress condition. So again, I've got some movement here, some target displacements. I can put a stress condition in here. And if the stress is met during that part of the test, 20 megapascals, I can either stop, or again, I can move on to another operation. And that's the stress condition. Next one is a time condition. We can use elapsed time during an operation, and if the time passes our condition limit here, say of 30 seconds, we can either stop the test, or again we can move to a different operation. I could jump to operation number 4 if I wanted to. If we pass our 30 seconds, or if I want to jump to another operation, I can just go back and select and say, no, I'll go to operation number 3 instead. And that's the time condition. Here we're going to look at the time condition with a message this time. So you can see from the test here, I've got a message box with a time condition before it, and I've got a message in my message box that says measure the seam opening, and there's my post-test, after the test seam opening in millimeters. So what we're going to do here, when we play this test now, because I put a timer on the pause operation, so I'll start my movement. When I reach the pause operation with the timer, I get a message saying measure the seam opening with a countdown timer. Once that's finished, it will move on to the next operation. I'll continue my test and finish it. And at the end of it, I've got a message box to input something from a numerical perspective. So now I've measured it beforehand, so I can now input that. And that's a message with a time delay. Next is the digital condition. So I've got some movement operations here. So I can apply a digital, change the digital signal here. I can choose my line on the monitor. And what I do at the end of that, if it changes, do I stop or do I want to jump to another operation? That's a change in a digital condition to either stop or move to another operation. 2 more conditions on here. We've got a stop the test or abort the test. So what we can do is we drop these in, and we could change our first digital input to say, if digital input changes, then abort the test. Or if it doesn't change, we can continue to run our test through our operations, and then we'd hit operation number 5 and then we'd stop the test. So that's the abort or stop the test operation. If you look at our results here, there's a button that's greyed out, but when we select some results, you'll see we have this icon here, which is the archive. You hit the archive button and it takes you to a browser, so you can look at locations on the PC, and then you can select a location. I'm going to choose my desktop, say OK, and what that's done is that's archived those to my desktop. So they've been removed from the main database and put into a different location, freeing up space within the main database. And those are the features of VectorPro 8.3. Thank you for watching.